Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 191 based on novel. So let's start. In the ancient era, a huge tragedy fell on the indigenous people of Yangji main continent. Back then they were all normal people of the universe, and they didn't even have 10 knights in their race. Against the might of the four pinnacle races forging the battlefield, they were like ants. The knights knew that they were the main targets, naturally their chances of fleeing were low. Hence they swiftly distributed their treasures to their people. It was originally distributed to 100 little teams with 9,900 other little teams that acted as decoys. The 10,000 towers had different levels too. These 9,900 teams were used as cannon fodder against the four pinnacle races, using the special energy of the sacrificial towers to hide the rest from scanners and space ripples etc. Its material itself was however just average. Actually, the 100 inheritance teams had many differences from the 9,900 little teams. The inheritance teams had 6 emperors each. But the 9,900 normal teams only had 6 officials in total. The treasures within were different too. The 9,900 teams had little treasures. The inheritance teams, they were truly treasure troves, they were meant to truly succeed the race eventually. And obviously, the tower Luo Feng and the others entered had 6 emperor guides, and it was one of the 100 inheritance towers. Asterisk 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 asterisk. On the mountain peak, the mad winds howled. The 12 emperors of the survivors exchanged glances, as their eyes were burning with madness. Let's go to the tower, the gold-robed warrior said. The 11 of them nodded. The 12 emperors swiftly went through the water membrane. Within the control room of the tower, the leading gold-robed warrior and the other emperors gathered within, and the AI appeared right after. Master, look. The AI pointed at the 3D image. This shows the entire tower. They are following the pathway now. 6 individuals. The gold-robed warrior stared hard at the 6 individuals who were clearly projected. Whether it was the Gold Eyes Winged Knight Emperor, Ice Blade, Gold King Emperor, Silver Winged Luo Feng, they were all clearly shown. There are humans and some weak races, the warrior said. Completely simulate their energies. A fat emperor standing beside ordered. Immediately, the 6 silhouettes were displayed as their original heights and sizes along with their energies. With the tower's simulation, at least 10% of their energies was emulated. The surviving warriors all looked on, the fat emperor saying softly, "These 6 should all be Emperor Pinnacle, with special items, they may be even stronger." What? Third brother. Elder. The other warriors looked at him. This third brother was the cautious Undying back then, teleporting them into his god country. Including the others that were originally in there, that was the only way to keep his people alive. He was the strongest amongst the group, and he hardly ever meddled in affairs. The person usually managing everything was the gold-robed warrior. Third brother, you sure? The gold-robed warrior looked at him. Yes, I, Chiokai Ka, will never be wrong. The fat warrior smiled. And the 6 of them should be from 2 different camps. Even though they are moving together, they are enemies, we still have a chance. Ah? Enemies? The gold-robed warrior and the others continued to observe, swiftly discovering the little traits that allowed them to discern that the 6 of them were from 2 different camps. This is our chance. Chiokai Ka said, however, the weak will be useless in this fight. Elder. Third brother. It immediately made some of the low emperors shout out. Pui is Pinnacle Emperor, while La Di Mo and Men Bu are High Emperor. The 3 of them including me will make it 4. Big brother, you and the other 8 should return to the god country. He made the decision. You won't be of much help, and this fight will be very dangerous. We are unlike the other races with powerful techniques. When we lost our inheritance, we lost a lot of our techniques. The 8 of you will still have to lead our race. Go back for the future of our race. He gazed at them. The 8 low emperors were reluctant. Yes. Yes, Elder. For the race. They finally all followed the Elder's orders. Elder, Godmaster, you all have to come back. You have to survive. The 8 emperors were worried. Relax, we will send our true inheritance back to the race. Shiokai Ka waved, go on. The 8 of them turned around and left via the water membrane. Only the 4 strongest and the AI were left in the control room. The indigenous people of Yangji continent used to live in their tribes. The main head of the tribe was the Godmaster, while the strongest was the Elder. The Elder was in charge of leading the tribe while the Godmaster managed it. For warriors. The Elder Chiokai Ka, Godmaster Pui, La Demo and Men Bu. 2 pinnacle emperors and 2 high emperors. The enemy will reach the core area soon. The Elder pointed at the projection. The core area has the treasures. Everybody knows that it's divided into 2 treasure rooms and 1 inheritance room. The 2 treasure rooms have all sorts of expensive materials, weapons and mysterious items. The inheritance room is our race's countless years of accumulation of techniques. With them, we will be able to pass on our techniques to the later generations to produce more warriors. He said. Our race is 12 emperors. All of them came from the disaster era, and none were produced after. This was mainly due to the lack of techniques to nurture the later generation. After all, the techniques we know are only a small fraction of the race's entire collection. Our first goal: to get the inheritance room and teleport it to the God country. Shiokai Ka said, pointing at the 2 rooms that were being projected. These 2 treasure rooms, one has to be opened by our race people, but we got the treasure within long time ago. The other room, however, requires one of our race people with a talisman to open. 2 rooms, one with less treasure than the other. According to what I know, the second room has tens of times more treasure than the first. He said, the second goal is to open this second treasure room. The other 3 nodded. The 3 rooms all had different levels of difficulty in opening. Opening the room with the least amount of treasure was something they already knew about. As for the other 2, one held treasures while the other held techniques. Even though the treasure is valuable, the techniques are more important to the race. Hence we have to first use all our strength to get the inheritance room. He ordered. Don't get tempted by the treasure. They may be useful to you, but they have little benefits for nurturing our later generations. Everything, for the race. Understood, Elder. Men Bu and La Dimo nodded. Understood, third brother. The gold-robed Puri nodded as well. All right. Chiokai Ka nodded. We have a good chance of getting both the treasure rooms and the inheritance rooms. After all, they have to be activated by our people. The others nodded. Naturally, we cannot fight it out with them. The moment we show ourselves, they will team up against us. He pointed at the first treasure room, the one they had opened in the past. This first room is the place where I've planned for them to fight it out. Elder, but we've entered this room. Men Bu said curiously. We just have to put some things in. He smiled. The treasure case we got back then is still with me. It's just a box, only its material is valuable. I'll put the 3 cases that we got in the past in there. The cases will simply be empty. When they discover the cases and are unable to scan it with their god energy along with some message from the deceased elders. Right. It would be strange for them not to fight. They would definitely think we were all dead and there was no other life in the tower. Chiokai Ka nodded. It's not that we are smart, it's just that they would never expect for us to have survived. Remember, they don't know we are here, and that's our greatest advantage. Until the final moment, we cannot reveal ourselves. We should go arrange the first treasure room now. He swiftly left the control room and began his plan. He returned after a while. Within the control room, the 4 warriors looked at everything happening. 6 talismans. They have it, the core has been activated. We have to find a way to get at least one of them. Only that way can we activate the inheritance room and the second treasure room. The 6 pathways shook simultaneously. After revolving for a while, pathways opened at each end. Their paths were all clear. Core area. Luo Feng carefully covered himself with the Shou wings and entered, finally stepping through the pathway and landing on the ground. It was a vast hall. Gold Kang, Purple Clock and Night Emperor were already standing there. Young. Piercing Tiger landed too. The two of them exchanged glances and walked to Night. Ice Blade, Gold Kang and Purple Clock stood together as well. Be careful, we are already in the core region. Even though we had to rely on all six to enter here, now that there's no more need to cooperate, a battle can occur at any time. Night communicated to his group. Young, especially you. Your undying body is weakest here. That Gold Kang is extremely strong, he may target you first. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. The distant Gold Kang, Ice Blade and Purple Clock instantly became three beams of light and split into two. Gold Kang flew one way alone while the other two took another path. It was obvious they were trying to get to the treasure faster. Gold Kang, Ice Blade and Purple Clock shot out in two different paths, looking along the pathways. Gold Kang is the fastest and strongest, I'll follow him. Night communicated, Piercing Tiger, you and Young head in the other pathway. We cannot let the other two get the treasure. Understood. They must be dreaming if they think they can get the treasure. Piercing Tiger mocked. The two of them became beams of light and chased after them, while Night chased after Gold Kang. Two teams in different pathways. As the entire tower was covered in complex engravings, it made it so that teleportation couldn't be used within. Hence the two teams could only rely on flying, and at this time, Luo Feng's strength could be unleashed, his silver wings flapped. Su! Warping about the pathway, he swiftly accelerated. Piercing Tiger couldn't even keep up. Young, go slow him down first. Piercing Tiger knew that he couldn't keep up with Luo Feng. After all, Luo Feng wasn't as strong as him, but that wasn't the reason he was invited anyway. Relax, leave it to me. Luo Feng got faster and faster. These were internal pathways within the tower, and with the core area only stretching several hundreds of thousands of kilometers, wrapping around the tower. It was narrow at certain parts, and the directions kept changing as well. There were spots where one had to completely turn 180 degrees just to follow the path. Luo Feng had to slow down rapidly and stop before turning. In such a pathway, having to slow down immediately after accelerating, they had to do this over and over every few kilometers. An emperor could easily accelerate and speed up, however to stop and start like this, it was tedious. Just like several bending pathways on Earth, no matter how good a car one had, he couldn't accelerate and could only decelerate during a turn. To these warriors traveling close to light speed, bending every few kilometers or 100 kilometers, it was a torture. The longest stretch is only a few hundred kilometers. I still have to slow down almost immediately, I cannot go fast at all, only maintaining low speeds for turning. Gold Kang roared, and his eyes were filled with rage. Ha ha, Gold Kang, your speed is shocking. However, in such a place, you cannot go fast at all. However, I as a NAE human with wings, I'm good at direction changes. Ha ha. Night Emperor caught up from behind. Humph. Gold Kang snorted and turned to look at Night Emperor. Rumble. A thick bolt of lightning shot out from Gold Kang's eyes, the bolt dispersed immediately after shooting out. It seemed almost like countless lightning snakes, forming a huge net that shot at Night Emperor who was behind him. The pathway was only that huge, the net completely covered the pathway. Rumble. Night Emperor's eyes flashed coldly, he became a beam of white light and forcefully broke through the net. However, it did affect his speed. You want to surpass me? Ha ha, Night Emperor, you keep on dreaming. I will always be ahead of you. As long as there is treasure, I will definitely be the first to get it. Gold Kang mocked as he turned and flew, occasionally shooting out more nets at Night Emperor behind. Night Emperor could only helplessly grit his teeth. As the two of them fought on, at the other pathway. Luo Feng was different, he naturally warped around. Since all the other warriors couldn't reach their max speeds, naturally Luo Feng couldn't do so either. However, he was proficient in changing directions, and this was a huge advantage for him. He easily reached close to 10 times the speeds of Purple Clock and Ice Blade. 10 times? How fast was that? He instantly caught up. You wish to flee? Luo Feng gazed at the two Chi-Chang silhouettes ahead. It was the two emperors. He's caught up. Purple Clock turned and got a shock when he saw Luo Feng. This Yang is extremely fast. No problem, his strength is the weakest of the three. He should only be proficient in flying in such confined spaces. Ice Blade said confidently. Purple Clock will rely on your ability. My one attack will knock him back. He said confidently. Luo Feng was too fast. He rushed straight beside them and was trying to get ahead. How? Purple Clock opened his mouth and the ripples from his peculiar howl rushed into Luo Feng. The silver armor diffused the ripples of the attack, and the remainder of it hitting the cloud contact armor within. This completely blocked off the attack. Even though it was blocked, Luo Feng's speed was still affected. Humph! He flapped his silver wings fiercely and unleashed strike travel. Hua! He became a beam of silver light and shot through in between the two emperors. He was so fast that they had no time to react. Quick, stop him! Ice Blade said. Purple Clock, you are most adept at stopping. Bastard! He gritted his teeth and howled again. Immediately visible ripples formed a huge clock in the air. It flew extremely quickly. The speed of the attack naturally exceeded Luo Feng's flying speed. It trapped Luo Feng before shaking violently. Wang! It exploded as Luo Feng diffused the attack. Damn! Luo Feng shook his body as his speed decreased. Human, don't think about getting the treasure. It's mine. Purple Clock howled. Up! Luo Feng shook his wings. The Shouwu wings were indeed incredible. Even though he was affected by the attack, with a shake, he once again shot forward. The other two emperors had no way to keep up at all. Now I know why Night Emperor got him in. This human's flying is too peculiar, and his instantaneous speed is shocking. Even in such a pathway he can still go that fast. Ice Blade said. Purple Clock, with your little abilities. Ha ha, keep dreaming about the treasure. Luo Feng said. He turned sharply at the turns in the pathways and continued. Purple Clock soon lost sight of Luo Feng, and was even unable to attack him. Bastard! Chase! The two gritted their teeth and chased. Within the control room, the four indigenous warriors looked at the two chase scenes. They sure are incredible. The more intense the battle, the better. In fact, it's best if they killed each other. Chiokai Ka said coldly as he looked at the projection. These other races, back then the four pinnacle races forged the battlefields, destroying our home and taking it from us. In the future, we will definitely let them taste the destruction of their race. Let them taste the destruction of their race. The four emperors gritted their teeth, as hatred was boiling within. They were still very clear that this was only a dream for the moment and that they had no way to fulfill it now. Even if their race was completely present and was countless times stronger than before, a pinnacle race would still easily crush them. After hunting large amounts of prey, the prey would naturally want revenge. However, if a hunter feared the prey, he wouldn't be a hunter. The weak are prey to the strong. The universe had many resources and trillions of races. Which race got more resources would depend on who was stronger. It was simple as that. Two pathways, the four warriors pathway, is closest to the first treasure room. That silver-winged human is the fastest, he's already reaching the room. Chiokai Ka said softly. Luo Feng followed the pathway and swiftly examined the large rooms along the way. He could see that they were all empty, completely empty. He saw a room with an entrance size of 100 meters, and it was half open. In it lay an undying body. This is a corpse of an indigenous person, he should have fallen from the spirit attack too. Luo Feng slowed down and got more cautious as he approached the different areas. Glancing in. There was a translucent platform within and before it lay the body. Luo Feng could sense from the energy that it was a fallen undying. There were 3 normal book-sized silver cases on there too, and his eyes gleamed. He flapped his wings and became an arc, rushing into the room. The room had an area of 100 m. Luo Feng gazed about and ignored the body, as his attention fixed on the 10 m wide and long platform. It had a blur of words on it. The language was within humanity's trove of languages. Words from the indigenous people of Yangji main continent. Luo Feng had long learnt all the languages. With his level of consciousness, he could easily learn and use an entire language in a few seconds. This is. Luo Feng read and immediately understood. The word said, "Our race is facing extinction. Each of these 3 cases contain a world ring that holds large amount of treasures to be used for our race to rise up again. The case's sensors have to be activated by our own people to work, and no other race can activate it. What exquisite construction! A G9 metal infused with engravings." Luo Feng looked at the engravings on each case. "I probably need night-level strength to forcefully break it open. Just the construct alone should be worth over 1 billion mixed elements. As to opening it, who cares, I'll settle it next time." He smiled and instantly kept the 3 cases. "Leave the treasure?" Iceblade rushed in from outside, gritting his teeth and roaring. "The treasure is mine." Purple Clock's eyes were filled with madness. Even though they didn't see any cases, they saw Luo Feng standing within. It was highly unlikely of him to stop while searching for treasure. Hence there must have been something that made him stop here. "Gold Kang! Yang got the treasure!" Iceblade roared. His undying energy spread out and the howl immediately resounded about. Its speed was shocking, and the pathway Gold Kang picked did have a meeting point with the one Luo Feng picked. "Treasure!" Gold Kang's eyes gleamed. Yang got the treasure. Night Emperor was happy. The 2 of them immediately followed the direction of the howl and swiftly flew. Within the control room, Chiao-Kai Ka and the other warriors watched the scene nervously. "Go and die, it's best they fight and killed each other," the Godmaster Pu said, staring hard at the projection. "Watch carefully, observe what moves they have," Chiao-Kai Ka emphasized. "Even though we are all Emperor level, because we've been hiding for so long, we haven't truly fought with other Emperors. And these invaders have been fighting for so long, we have to observe and gain experience by knowing their trump cards. We need to acquire the inheritance and treasure room. Just relying on plans won't be enough, we have to rely on strength." "Yes, Elder." The other 3 nodded. They were already prepared to fight to the death. This battle would determine the growth of their entire race. Within the first treasure room, Luo Feng kept the 3 cases he just got. Iceblade and Purple Clock rushed in madly. "This is part of an entire race's treasure, it's definitely worth much more than normal emperors." Purple Clock communicated, "Iceblade, even if we have to burn part of our undying bodies, we have to get the treasure." "I know." Iceblade's eyes were like little venomous snake eyes. Among the 2 of them, Iceblade was huge while Purple Clock was small and skinny. In terms of strength, Purple Clock was Pinnacle Emperor while Iceblade was only High Emperor. While the 2 of them communicated, their speed didn't slow down at all, as they rushed into the room. Luo Feng turned to look at the 2 Chi-Chang warriors rush in. "Humph!" Luo Feng flipped his hand and a blood shadow blade appeared. At the same time, the silver wings on his back began to flap. "Cloud Contact Vine, help stop them," Luo Feng ordered. Thin vines sprouted out from his arms. As they shot out, they began to swell rapidly, splitting into large amounts of vines and leaves, rushing like a tsunami at the 2 emperors. Even though the Cloud Contact Vine was only pinnacle official level in terms of sturdiness and regeneration strength, its strength was akin to a low emperor human. Maybe the difference compared to a pinnacle Purple Clock and High Ice Blade was still huge, however simply slowing down and stopping was something it could still do easily. "Blood Cloud!" Purple Cloud howled. 2 bloody flowers shot out from his waist portion, extending and swiftly swelling. The huge flowers were like the ceiling itself, blocking the large number of vines. The vines tried to extend through the flowers, however the edges of the flowers were filled with sharp thorns. They began to madly bite at the cloud contact vine. In terms of attacking, the cloud contact vine was obviously weaker. It madly wrapped around its enemy. The two fought on, and were evenly matched. It's rare for normal undyings and even officials to have a plant life form. It's only common amongst emperors. However, they normally only manage to grow them to pinnacle general level or low official. Luo Feng frowned at the scene. I didn't expect Purple Clock to have a pinnacle official blood demon flower. Don't think of escaping. Purple Clock twisted his ugly face into a malevolent smile. HMPH, Luo Feng flapped and became a blur beam of light, wanting to escape through the 100m wide entrance. It was troublesome to be trapped in this small room. The moment he got out, however, it would be much easier. Cackle. An ear-piercing laughter resounded as a huge blade slashed at Luo Feng. Break. A glaring silver light tore through the space like a stream, dispersing the huge blade slash, causing the space around to break apart like glass. However, it quickly recovered. Luo Feng's speed was affected even though he dispersed the enemy attack. At this time, a voice resounded from behind. Yang, I'm here to help you. Piercing Tiger. Luo Feng was happy within. It was indeed hard for him to escape from the room. But, with Piercing Tiger here, he naturally could fight it out or find a chance to escape. Ah! Piercing Tiger! An ear-piercing howl resounded from the room. The small and skinny Purple Clock turned, and his expression was malevolent. 3 fiery clocks appeared before him, each causing the space to crumble about it. After which they all flew towards Piercing Tiger wielding 2 huge axes. Ha ha ha! Piercing Tiger laughed madly. Split! He used his left axe to protect himself, as his right axe slashed downwards. This slash caused the land and skies to split apart. The terrifying force caused the space around to go into disarray. Purple Clock gritted his teeth and used his fire clocks to block the axe slashing at the blood demon flower. Rumble, the axe clashed with the clocks. The force of the clash caused the engravings about the tower to flash. Later on they took the brunt of the attack, leaving the tower undamaged. Ice Blade, you and Blood Cloud attack the human together. I'll stop Piercing Tiger. Purple Clock howled. Wait, once Gold Kang comes, we'll win for sure. We don't need to defeat them, just block the entrance and not let them out, we'll definitely win. Leave it to me. Ice Blade howled. Purple Clock and Piercing Tiger fought outside the entrance, while Luo Feng and Ice Blade fought within. Luo Feng rushed over and over. Even though he could suppress Ice Blade, with Ice Blade bravely stopping him, along with the Blood Demon Flower's help, Luo Feng couldn't escape. Gold Kang. Purple Clock, who was getting fatigued, saw a beam of lightning shooting over, and was extremely happy. That lightning bolt was Gold Kang. He flashed. Gold Kang had arrived. Get out of the way! He howled. It resounded directly within Piercing Tiger's mind. The formless soul attack was like a powerful bolt, attacking madly within his mind, destroying the spirit imprints within his undying body. Even though Gold Kang was proficient in body amplification, not soul, his soul attacks were still quite powerful. Ah! Piercing Tiger felt his soul shake as he stammered. Rumble! Gold Kang's huge foot violently smashed into Piercing Tiger's head, crushing him in. Piercing Tiger was knocked hard into a distant wall. The wall shook a little, and the engravings flashed. Make way! Gold Kang communicated. Understood. Purple Clock communicated via soul directly to the Blood Demon Flower. Blood Cloud, let Gold Kang through. The entrance, which was heavily clogged with the flower, swiftly formed a pathway and Gold Kang rushed in. Within the room, the Blood Demon Flower and the Cloud Contact Vine had both almost taken up the entire room, causing it to become a world of plants and flowers. Human! Gold Kang rushed in straight at Luo Feng. Die? A long ancient thunderpike appeared in Gold Kang's hands. It flashed as Gold Kang roared, and his body shrank by 1 size. However, gold light surrounded his entire body was almost like a gold metal. This scene terrified Luo Feng. Body amplification technique. Body amplification techniques would cause changes to the body. Gold Kang had unleashed his move. Gold Kang roared and waved his pike, and all the power was concentrated at the tip. Within the small confined space, it moved at close to light speed. Luo Feng had no time to dodge. He could only wrap his body in his wings as Gold Kang unleashed his technique, using the wings to protect himself. The thunder pike clashed with his wings. Luo Feng was knocked backwards, as the thunder pike continued on hit the wall. Accurately speaking, the pike didn't pierce through the wings, however the force was strong enough to stick Luo Feng against the wall. What? Gold Kang was extremely shocked. I didn't destroy his body. Even though he knew it was extremely hard to kill an emperor, this human Yang was only High Emperor. With his full strength, even if he didn't kill him, he should have destroyed his body. Yang! I'll stop Gold Kang. Night Emperor rushed over in a blur. Piercing Tiger was fighting with Purple Clock. Night Emperor! Gold Kang turned, his eyes flashing and raging at Night Emperor. Even though Luo Feng had blocked his attack, Gold Kang was still clear that the biggest threat in the human team was Night Emperor, followed by Piercing Tiger. They were both pinnacle emperors after all. The smallest threat was Yang. Ice Blade, stop Piercing Tiger. Gold Kang immediately ordered. Purple Clock, even if you have to burn your undying body, we have to get the treasure. Leave Night to me. Okay. Purple Clock gritted his teeth and instantly rushed into the room. Ice Blade rushed to block Piercing Tiger. As for Gold Kang, he waved one hand. The thunder pike landed in his hand as his cold gaze landed on Night Emperor. His body glowed with green light with the body amplification technique. The formless pressure he gave off made Night Emperor shudder. He had to be careful. Burn my undying body to get the treasure. Purple Clock gritted his teeth, as his eyes were filled with madness. Luo Feng wielded his blood shadow blade, looking at Purple Clock. At this critical point of the battle, burning one's undying body was the solution. Looks like, to get the treasure, everyone will have to burn their undying bodies. Luo Feng thought. But, I don't have an undying body. Hand the treasure over. Or, die? Purple Clock's eyes were filled with madness. Rumble. 3 fire clocks revolved. They were almost like small stars burning intensely and rushing at Luo Feng. This video will end here.